Why do your poached eggs always fall apart? You carefully crack the egg, gently drop it into hot water, and suddenly, the whites scatter everywhere, the yolk breaks, and all you're left with is a cloudy, messy pot. No shape, not appetizing, just pure frustration. But here's the truth. It's not your fault. It's your technique. Today, I'm going to show you the correct way to poach eggs. No breaking, no sticking, no foam. Perfectly smooth, tender whites, and a soft, beautifully runny yolk. Even if you've never made poached eggs before, you can get it right on your very first try. And if you think you already know how, there are a few secrets here that might completely change the way you poach eggs. Let's get started. These eggs were bought directly from a farmer, and honestly, they're dirtier than you might think. On the surface, you can clearly see chicken droppings, feathers, and other impurities. Not only does this affect appearance, but it can also carry harmful bacteria. If you skip cleaning, when you crack the egg, all that dirt and bacteria can easily get inside, affecting both the dish and your health. So cleaning eggs isn't just an optional step. It's essential if you want your food to be both safe and delicious. Prepare a bowl. Add 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and about 1.5 liters of water. Stir well until everything is completely dissolved. Then soak the eggs for about 5 minutes. Baking soda helps loosen stubborn dirt, while salt supports disinfection. Together, they clean the eggs much more effectively. After soaking, use a kitchen towel to wipe each egg clean. The reason is that when a hen lays eggs, they pass through the cloaca, an organ used for both excretion and reproduction. So it's completely natural for bacteria and impurities to be present on the shell, which is why this cleaning step should never be skipped. Finally, rinse the eggs again with clean water to completely remove any remaining residue. You'll notice the eggshell becomes clean, smooth, and much more reassuring to use. Next, prepare a few shallow plates. The shallower the plate, the better your poached eggs will look, because you almost completely eliminate the dropping force when transferring the egg into water. Just add a little water to each plate and swirl it around. This thin layer of water acts like a cushion, preventing the egg from sticking and helping it keep its perfect shape before going into the pot. But here's the most important thing that many people overlook. The fresher the egg, the better your poached egg will look. A fresh egg has 2 distinct layers of egg white. The first is the thick white, dense, gel-like, and tightly wrapped around the yolk. It's very difficult to scoop it up with a spoon. The second is the thin white, looser and more watery, surrounding the outside. You can scoop it up very easily. It's as runny as water. You can clearly see these 2 layers when the egg is cracked onto a plate. When an egg is very fresh, the thick white makes up a larger portion and tightly holds the yolk together. This layer is what determines the final shape of your poached egg. The thicker it is, the rounder the egg, the more beautiful and the more delicious. On the other hand, as eggs age, the thick white gradually becomes thinner. When dropped into water, this loose white spreads out into wispy strands, causing the egg to lose its shape and look messy. So how can you tell if an egg is fresh? Very simple. A slightly rough shell usually means the egg is fresh. Give it a gentle shake. If you hear no sound, it's fresh. If you hear a sloshing sound inside, the egg is no longer fresh. Just understanding these things already puts you ahead of most people when it comes to poaching eggs. And in the next part, I'll show you how to make perfectly round, no break, no foam, silky smooth poached eggs, just like in restaurants. If you want perfectly round poached eggs like in a restaurant, here's the secret step that many people overlook. Don't rush to crack the egg directly onto a plate or drop it straight into the pot. Instead, crack the egg through a fine mesh strainer. Gently shake the strainer so that the thin, watery egg white drips through. Be careful, shake very lightly. If you shake too hard, the yolk can break immediately. The part that passes through the strainer is the thin egg white, the culprit that makes poached eggs spread out and form messy white strands when it hits hot water. Removing this part, you've already solved about 80% of the reasons why poached eggs turn out messy. The more carefully you strain the egg, the neater, rounder, and more beautiful it will look when poached. Finally, gently transfer the strained egg to a plate. Now you'll see the egg white wrapping neatly around the yolk, looking perfectly formed right from the start. Now, let's move on to the most important step, preparing the water for poaching. Pour water into a pot, and if possible, choose one with a wide mouth. A wide space makes it easier to handle the eggs and gives them room to keep their shape beautifully. Turn the heat to high and bring the water to a gentle simmer, not a rolling boil. If the water boils too vigorously, immediately lower the heat. This is a small detail, but it directly determines whether the eggs turn out beautifully or not. And now comes the question that many people debate. Should you add vinegar to the water? The answer is, you can, but it must be done correctly. Vinegar creates a slightly acidic environment, helping the egg white set faster. This prevents it from spreading out in the water, reducing messy strands, and keeping the egg neatly shaped. However, many people find the eggs taste sour or the whites turn too firm. The reason isn't the vinegar itself, it's because they use too much. Just 1 to 2 teaspoons of vinegar per liter of water is enough to do its job without affecting the flavor. If your eggs are fresh and you follow the proper technique, straining the watery white, controlling the water temperature, you can poach perfectly round eggs without using vinegar at all. In other words, vinegar is just a helper. Technique is the key factor. Now, gently lower each egg into the water. Remember, do not drop from high up. Lower it gently to maintain its shape. Once the egg is in the water, leave it alone. Do not stir or touch while it sets. It's nice to know that we see each other all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. It's great to see your support. Cover the pot for 2 to 3 minutes. When you remove the lid, the eggs will hold their shape very well. No film, no bubbles, no stray strands of white. Use a spatula to separate the eggs if needed. You'll see the whites soft, smooth, and opaque, wrapping completely around the yolk. Lift them out with a slotted spoon. If you want an extra smooth, runny yolk, you can place the eggs in ice water for 30 seconds to 1 minute to shock them. The result: a yolk that is soft, creamy, rich, and silky golden. Eat immediately after removing, or if you prefer slightly firmer eggs, you can skip the ice bath. Place the eggs on a plate. If you like fully cooked eggs, simply poach a few more minutes. With this simple method, you can easily poach multiple eggs at once. The poached eggs are perfectly intact, round, and visually stunning. The yolk flows like molten lava, incredibly enticing. Toast 2 slices of bread at 180 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. With this baking time and temperature, the bread turns out perfectly crisp. Once done, place the poached eggs on top and enjoy. The whites are soft and velvety, hugging the golden, silky yolk. The yolk slowly oozes out, spreading over the bread to form a natural, rich sauce, perfectly complemented by the crisp toast. The subtle aroma of the eggs, combined with warm bread, makes each bite visually appealing and irresistibly delicious from the very first taste. Next, I'll share how to make a sauce to enjoy with poached eggs. Add 1/2 tablespoon of light soy sauce to create a mild saltiness while enhancing the natural umami, making the dish more appealing. Add 1/2 tablespoon of oyster sauce to deepen the flavor, bring a subtle sweetness, and give the sauce a light thickness so it coats the eggs nicely. Add a pinch of salt to balance the overall seasoning and help all the flavors come together harmoniously. Add 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil to provide a light, distinctive aroma that makes the dish more enticing from the very first bite. Add some chopped scallions for freshness, a pop of color, and to keep the dish from feeling heavy. Finally, add a few spoonfuls of the poaching water. This water contains a small amount of egg protein, helping the sauce bind naturally, becoming smoother and preventing separation. Stir well, and you'll have a sauce that is rich, aromatic, perfectly balanced, elevating the flavor of the poached eggs significantly. Now the sauce for the poached eggs is ready. Place the poached eggs into the bowl of sauce and enjoy. Looks so appetizing, doesn't it? Where are you watching from? Please leave a comment to let me know. Each poached egg has a soft, silky white that almost melts on your tongue, wrapping around the rich, creamy yolk inside. With a gentle bite, the smooth, runny yolk flows out and blends instantly with the flavorful sauce, creating a perfect balance of savory, slightly sweet, rich, and aromatic. The more you eat, the more you notice the refinement. Soft, smooth, rich, deep in flavor, with layers of taste unfolding slowly yet irresistibly. A dish that seems simple, yet when you taste it, it feels like something from a restaurant. Light, refined, and so delicious that you'll want another bite immediately. If you like it, give it a try. How do you usually poach your eggs? Leave a comment and let everyone know. The video ends here. If you have any comments, please leave a comment below. If you find the video interesting, please give me a like. Don't forget to share it with your relatives and friends. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. See you in the next video.